Hi, it's Juris and welcome to Tattoo Shop Talk, and today we will take a look at new tattoo machine from Cheyenne. We'll take a look at Sol Nova Unlimited version 2, and I want to go like not in-depth review but like an overview and compare some things to the previous model, because on some internet pages you read sometimes, well, like what's the difference between new one and the old one, and people often say it's the same tattoo machine just with the screen, but it's not. There's few things more to it. So let's look at both, what's the difference, and then I'll go through the menu and we'll take a look at those things. Full review on working with it will follow later, but since this is very new machine and there's very limited information on it, both from tattooers and from Cheyenne's, like let's say, webpage, because all the things that I needed to find out, I was reaching out to contacting Cheyenne and then I got information back. So yeah, let's have a look. Put the fancy gloves on because I don't want to get much fingerprints on there, and I think it will look cool on this camera. Let's have a look with packaging. So the box that it comes in, that's the older model, that's the newer model. So you can see how they form. One is a bit more like higher, the new one is a bit more sort of short. And this perspective, boom. Now, machines physically they are this much different. So grip completely screwed in. Older model is 125 millimeters and the new model is a bit taller, 134 millimeters. That's there. And side by side, boom, boom. Another thing physically to look at, it's not just a machine with the screen, it's like the whole unit. Let's switch it off. This whole thing up here, it's connected magnetically. It's very satisfying click. The magnet pulls and ba-bam. And this is where you put the battery in. So you have this situation, control unit, and a battery. While in the older model, you unscrew this and battery is in here. And at the first looks I thought it's the same battery and same charger. There are these two things. That's the older one and that's the new one. New one has a bit more branding type of a thing. We have a little Cheyenne text. You can take a look at technical thingies here if it matters. But the main difference is that batteries are not the same size. Older one is tiny bit shorter, and that's kind of weird, but maybe new machine requires new batteries. Let's look at the size. 49, sort of 50-ish millimeters, and new ones 52.5 millimeters. 3-4 millimeter difference, which is quite a lot. So you can't fit it, the old ones in the new ones and new ones in the old ones. It's just simply not gonna fit because there's a fair gap. Battery clips in here, plus minus, and this thing slides in. Boom. Grips are still the same. You can fit one on another, and that's absolutely fine. But batteries don't fit. That's also a little thing, but something to keep in mind. Also very easy to pack machine. I usually put blue plastic here, sort of wrap it up so I can access the button, and then a clipcord sleeve on here so I can adjust this part and it slides over the blue sticky plastic. It don't have to be blue, but it's the sticky one. Now on the old machine, you switch it on. That's what's going on. And you have regular mode and responsive mode. So that's on off button right there. Hold it and it starts to blink. Then it changes to responsive mode by clicking button bam. And if you want to adjust the voltage, this, and then adjust the voltage, run it, hold it, up and down. What I don't like, that there's no screen, so you don't know on what voltage you are exactly, but people who work with them, they have it figured out and it works fine for them. Now the new one is a bit different. So to switch it on, first of all, the switch is on the top there. That's on-off switch. Hold it. Screen comes on and it shows what voltage, what mode you're in, and what's the battery. There's also a timer. And to run it, I would go for this button, but it doesn't work. And it took me a while to figure out, but obviously the on-off button is also the button that runs the machine. Now we have a screen. Shows what voltage. You can adjust voltage by pressing up and down. You can also do it obviously while running machine. Boom, boom, boom. It goes from 4.7, which is really slow on this machine, and it goes up to 12.5, which sounds wild. Boom. And on and off. It shows what mode it's in, what voltage, boom, boom, timer. Now what's the modes? Basically they have the S, the standard mode, and then there are responsive modes, responsive mode 1, responsive mode 2, and responsive mode 3. I couldn't find anywhere on Cheyenne's website what does it mean, so I had to reach out to company, and they explained the R1, R2, R3 are responsive ones, and R3 being the most sensitive, most responsive, so that would be the best for like a softer stuff, for like a soft black and gray type of shading. So R3 is the softest and R1 is the hardest, but still responsive. And why that's important, this is also a 4.5mm stroke machine, which is kind of on a stronger side of strokes. The older one was 4. They kind of feel similar. Obviously this one is a bit more punchy, but because there are those 3 responsive modes, you can easily go from standard to responsive. So let's say you're lining, you're like, cool, bigger needle, 4.5mm stroke, then you're coloring in. Maybe you don't feel like coloring in with 4.5mm stroke, but you can soften it up a bit, and it's just here. You press the menu button, and you can go through R3, R2, R1, and S mode. If you press it for a bit longer, boom, it goes into menu. And here again, by pressing the same button, you can go through modes. If you held it a few seconds for too long, no big deal, you are in the modes, and now you have to wait a bit to get out of the modes. And since we are in the menus, then let's go through the menus and see what's up, because there are a few things that you need to set up. They also work on automatic, but if you don't set it up correctly, it can get in the way. It's kind of cool and annoying at the same time. Let's go into menu. So long press, boom. We have the modes as the first thing, S, R1, R2, R3. The next one in the menu, it shows what's mainly showed on the screen. So either mode or volts hertz. Now it shows volts. And boom, mode. And it shows the mode as a main thing. Because maybe for some it's more important. They know the volts and they are just flicking through the modes. Boom, next thing. Volts or hertz. So let's change it to hertz. And now on the display you can see that 12.5 volts is 150 hertz. Now we can easily adjust the modes. And now let's go back into menu. And now you can flick through modes, timer, hertz. Let's run it. And now you can adjust hertz by 5 hertz increments up and down. Let's go into menu again, gesture speed, and that's where you can change it. Either it be tilting, twisting. Let's go with the tilt. Tilt is the good old, you run it, you hold the button, it goes up and it goes down and up again. It takes a moment to show hertz, what hertz is on, but it shows it. So let's go boom, down, let it go, boom, 55 hertz. Let's get it up, boom. Let's give it a second, 125 hertz. Let's go back to the menu, palm, and change it to twist. Come on. Now we run it. Now instead of this motion, we do sort of like a volume dial. So you hold it, and it's, whoop. When you're working, you can do this sort of motion and adjust speed that way, which is kind of weird, but somebody may find it useful. 80. Whoop. Boom, 150. I worked with it a bunch, and after time it gets automatically that you have to press button here to switch it on and off instead of here. But naturally, with all machines or most machines, my finger reaches there. Okay, back to menu. Let's do the tilt because twist is wild. Display orientation, display left, right, or auto. You want to set it to your preferred position because automatically it will jump from one side to another, because you see it's this way, boom, it's this way. Kind of not a big deal, but what a cool thing it does when you're working, you work this way. It's a bit weird when it displays what. Now it jumped to modes again. I don't want to adjust modes, I want to adjust voltage, so then I do, we are working this way, boom, it jumped this way, and now hertz are working opposite direction. It's good to set it up if you're like right-handed or left-handed, it's really cool option, but if it's on auto it can get in the way when you're working, boom, boom, and the controls are other way around, which can get confusing when you work. So let's set it to our desired position, which for me would be not auto, right one, because I'm right-handed, so I can see when I work I hold machine in this hand. Next one is brightness. That's pretty obvious. You change brightness of the screen, standard, minimal, maximal. Let's go with the standard. Actually, let's go with the maximal so you can see it better. Brightness, factory reset, so you can reset to factory settings, which we don't need at the moment. I don't know why would you. It's not like there's presets, or maybe there are, but I just don't know because there's no information out there. And maybe you've gone too far and then you need to reset it. We're going boom, 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 boom. The last one is factory reset, and then you can just simply either go back up to what you want to change, or you press that and it's back to the main screen. Boom, modes, timer, hertz, run, stop, and also this machine have jump start, and that's set. You can disable it. You have a jump start. Let's do something like 80 hertz. Yeah. So yeah, that would be those things in the menu that are different, because simply there's no menu on an older model, and here you have like 4 working modes. You have a display, you can change the brightness, you can see the hertz or volts which you want, and you can see like a timer and all sorts of stuff. And those modes can come in handy because there's now 2.5mm stroke machine, 3.5mm stroke machine, and 4.5mm stroke to 2 machine. You can adjust softer or harder hit, because if you're working, said 4.5mm is not a small stroke, so if you need to soften it up, and you quickly change the mode and you have a softer hit. Editing video a few days later, I have some notes because I discover a few things that I didn't discover, or a few things that I did discover but then couldn't because of the way menu didn't make sense in my head. Switching on the machine, thing to note at the timer, because I thought timer is timer, but then I was looking at it and numbers were changing a bit too much. Timer, and here you can see there's a session time, and you can also see reset session and runtime. So there's different times that it shows. You just have to fiddle around and see what is what. Timer, pause session, reset session, runtime, and then it goes back. It's displayed here, and this instruction manual, it's more like a puzzle. You have to sort of follow things like in a video game. And here on a timer it says session, runtime. I thought it's session runtime, so like a one thing, but there's both session and runtime, and then reset. I couldn't find the bit on the menu when I filmed before, to the point where I was thinking that maybe I dreamt of it, but I remember I changed screen to invert. And that's a minor thing, and that's something I could dream of, but it's actually here. You go to the display brightness, then click in there, there's maximum, you can change standard, minimum, and if you go down, you can invert colors of the screen. And now it looks like that. You can invert colors of the screen. When I filmed unboxing, that video was not out yet. On Cheyenne's channel there's a video about this machine, and there was one little thing that it didn't click to me. I saw in that video, I was like, okay. So we'll get to that in a second, but meanwhile I want to demonstrate, I think it's some sort of bug or I don't know something. Gesture speed, and now it's on a little circle. Now we're running it and it's not adjusting the speed. No matter how you tilt it, it's not doing anything. So now let's go back into menu. Bum, bum, bum. Gesture speed, it's on a little circle. Now we can change it to tilt. Let's go. And now you can adjust it by tilting the machine and speed changes. What I did find out from Cheyenne's video, that same thing works with this button. So you boom, you run it. And again, it's written in here, but I figured it out after the fact. I was like, oh, this is what it means, because there's a little circles and little C's and arrows going back and forward. It's like a Super Mario's level explained. Now, let's get back to that menu. We have tilt. We can change it to twist, but we cannot change it back to nothing, to little circle. So I put the twist part. Works with both buttons, with the back one and with the one that goes in the menu. Now it's on tilt. Boom. Works all the way. Now there's no way to disable it. It's either tilt or twist, tilt or twist. Let's switch the machine off, switch it on, run it. And it's doing nothing no matter how you move it. Now we're at the gesture speed and it's again on a little circle, so it's not abled. Every time you turn on and off your tattoo machine, if you want to use that function, you have to go in. Now you can choose tilt or twist, boom, boom, but it doesn't seem that there's an option to switch it off. Maybe it's written in the menu and I have no idea how to read it. I don't know if it's meant to be like that or it's a bug of some sort. It just feels weird that you can't set it as a default. Every time you switch machine on and off, you have to go back in again. Now it's doing this. Switch machine off. Switch machine on. Run it. And nothing. Gesture speed again 0, and now we can choose tilt or twist. Let's go with tilt. And now it's abled again, now it's working again. That's a weird thing. I did this video because this stuff is confusing for me, and I wish I had seen video like this before, so I would have a better understanding what's meant to be what and what should I see and do. And I think that's something that companies should do, not to rely on these faces. They should make their own sort of step-by-step user guide type of a thing, because some things are confusing, some things I have maybe misunderstood, or some things I don't know how to use because I just don't get it. These are the things that I did find. The invert thing made me think that maybe I'm losing it, that maybe I dreamt the thing, but it's there. So those little things that can be annoying if you have to figure out them yourself. I hope this video is helpful for people who get to use this tattoo machine. So far, using the machine, super happy with it. Menus, different story. I would say they're definitely not intuitive, and this paper doesn't help much. And now you can chip in your thoughts on the machine as it is. Also, you can recommend some sort of ways to test that machine. So sort of what can we do? Obviously like a reasonable test. I'm not gonna throw it at the wall and see what happens. So tattoo related stuff will work some more, and then full review will follow. Price wise, this one is around 700 euros. This one is 1000 euros. It's a new machine. For now, it's sold as is. With time, you will have some sort of modular options, like if you have a control unit, you can get just this part. When I detach it, it shows warning, motor missing. When we worked with it, it was cool. Well, it wasn't cool that we got there, but our junior member of team was going with this machine at fake skin. It showed warning that there's too much tension on cartridges. Again, I think it's pretty cool that machine knows when things are happening too much, and it gives you a warning that like you're doing something wrong or there's something wrong with your cartridge. So it has some built-in security system, and again, 1000 euros for a tattoo machine, you want it to work, and I'm pretty sure it will work, because Cheyenne's been doing machines since quite some time. I have this little thing and it's still working. I just don't use it because pen style is more comfortable. But it's a fine machine. I bought it used like 7 years ago maybe, and it's working to this day if a need be. And I'm pretty sure that there will not be issues with this one. It's not like they made awesome and long-lasting machines and suddenly they messed up. That's it for today. I will work on a full review. Let me know what you would like to know more in depth about the tattoo machine. Leave comments, press likes. If you're awesome, share the video. and I'll see you in a future episode. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. Bye.